Welcome back, YouTube followers. This is Rich again, back for an exclusive YouTube video blog. Today's feature is about the passing of former WCW World Champion and former WWE World Champion Psycho Sid Vicious slash Sid Justice, who passed away today at the age of 64. But first, these important messages. Don't forget to listen to Crystal's Time Machine each and every Friday and Saturday night from 9 to 11 p.m. on WCAP 980, where everybody gets it. If you can't get the show live, listen to the podcast exclusively on archive.org. Goes back to October 2015. Follow Crystal on Twitter at Crystal Amy John and Machine Crystal. Follow Crystal on Facebook, the official Crystal's Time Machine Facebook page, the official Crystal's Time Machine group page and game show fan page, and also follow Crystal on YouTube, Crystal Johnson. One exclusive video a week. Follow me on Twitter at Viciouis7. Follow me on Instagram at Rich Sarasol. Follow me on YouTube at Rich Sarasol. 2 exclusive videos a week usually. And follow Dave Weatherman, Bruce's Bell Echo Weather page. And follow Jen Johnson on Twitter. Okay, and now back to the feature presentation. Today, the pro wrestling world lost one of the best big men of all time, as Sid Edie, aka Psycho Sid Vicious, aka Sid Justice, passed away at the age of 64 after a several-year battle with cancer. He battled cancer privately. His son Gunnar announced to the world that his father passed away due to cancer. Sid had a long career in the world of sports entertainment. He wrestled first in the mid-1980s as a masked wrestler called Lord Humongous in several regional territories, mainly in the South, including the CWA, which became the USWA, the Continental, and Mid-South Wrestling, among others. When he stopped wrestling as Lord Humongous, he went by the ring name Sid Vicious, and he was very big, and even the late WWE Hall of Famer, the Texas Tornado Kerry Von Erich, said in an interview back in the late 1980s that Sid Vicious was the most awesomest man he ever wrestled, and he also said that he probably will be a top champion. Then in summer of 1989, Sid Vicious went to WCW, and he was managed by Teddy Long, and he teamed up with Dan Spivey, and they formed the Skyscrapers, and the Skyscrapers got a big push as a tag team in WCW. They didn't win any WCW Tag Team Championships. They feuded with the World Warriors, but Sid was on the sideline for several months, from the fall of 1989 to the spring of 1990, because he suffered a punctured and collapsed lung, first of many injuries which Sid would suffer throughout his career. Then Sid returned to WCW as a member of the Four Horsemen with Barry Windham, Arn Anderson, and Nature Boy Ric Flair. I didn't think Sid was Horseman material. He feuded with Sting, El Gigante, Lex Luger, and a few others during the time he was in the Horsemen. He actually won the WCW champion briefly in 1990, but the decision was overturned because he pinned Sting, but it was a fake Sting, which was Barry Windham. Then, in June of 1991, Sid Vicious went to the WWE as Sid Justice, a big baby face. He got awesome pops throughout the WWE territory. He even got more cheers than Hulk Hogan. He had matches with the Mountie, Ted DiBiase, Sergeant Slaughter before he before television debut. He made his WWE pay-per-view debut as a referee in a match made in hell between the Ultimate Warrior and Hulk Hogan against General Adnan, Sergeant Slaughter, and Colonel Mustafa at SummerSlam 91. And then Sid was sent to feud with Jake the Snake Roberts, but he suffered a torn bicep during October 1991. That sidelined him several months, and there was rumors he was going to be the one who got his bitten by that cobra that went to Macho Man Randy Savage. Then Sid returned for the Royal Rumble in 1992 as one of the odds-on favorites to win the WWE Championship, and Sid eliminated Hulk Hogan, and he got a massive pop. And the fans were cheering Sid, Sid. But when they showed that on WWE television the next week, they had to put in boo because nobody gets back then. You could not ever boo Hulk Hogan. Couldn't do it. And then Sid turned heel in a tag team match with Hulk Hogan against The Undertaker and Ric Flair on next to last Saturday night's main event, the classic version. And then he destroyed the barber shop. And then he hired Dr. Harvey Whippleman. And then he wrestled Hulk Hogan for the WWE for WrestleMania 8 main event. And the build-up was Psycho Sid was throwing preliminary wrestlers, putting them on stretchers. And then Sid was promised the WWE Championship during his first run, but during the match between Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 8, Sid broke out of. He was supposed to be pinned 1, 2, 3, but he broke up the leg drop count, and he was fired. Rumored he flunked a PED test, and he was not wrestling for several months. Rumors he flunked the test on purpose to play softball. Then he resurfaced a year later in WCW with Colonel Rob Parker as manager, and he had, as he was Sid Vicious again, having the gimmick where he would beat preliminary wrestlers and put them on stretchers. He teamed with Vader to face Sting and Davey Boy Smith at Bash of the Beach 93, which was called Beach Blast. And they had a mini movie where Sid, Vader, and their managers, Colonel Rob Parker and Harley Race, planted a bomb with Sting and Davey Boy Smith. But they escaped just in time. It probably was a fake bomb if that really happened. And then Sid was slated to feud with Vader for Starrcade 93 to win the WCW World title, and WCW actually had tapings at MGM Grand for Disney as Sid as world champion. But on an overseas trip to Europe, he and Arn Anderson argued the direction of WCW. There was they got into a big fight, had scissors and knives, and both men were stabbed seriously, and both of them were lucky to be alive. But Sid was fired from WCW because of the incident. And Sid, for the next several months, was recuperating and playing softball, and then he resurfaced in the world of professional wrestling in summer 1994 in the USWA, having a long reign in the Unified World Champion by beating Jerry the King Lawler. He had about an 8-month title reign, and he dropped it to Jerry the King Lawler to return to the WWE, this time as bodyguard for Shawn Michaels, as Syco Sid, but that bodyguard did not last too long because Sid cost Shawn Michaels the match at WrestleMania 11 against Big Daddy Cool Diesel, and then the next night on Raw, Sid powerbombed Shawn Michaels a couple of times, and turned on him, making Shawn a face, and then Sid joined the $1 Million Corporation. And then Sid had long feuds with Big Daddy Cool Diesel, which was awful. And then he feuded with Shawn Michaels in late 1995 over the IC Championship. He was slated to be WWE Tag Team Champions with the 1-2-3 Kid over the Smoking Guns at the Royal Rumble, but Sid suffered a neck injury, during a match between him and Bob Harley at a house show. Bob Harley pinned Psycho Sid, and Sid announced his retirement from wrestling for good in the spring of 1996, but it was short-lived. But really, he really probably didn't really have a serious injury. He wanted to play softball. And then Sid resurfaced in WWE again in summer of 1996, replacing the Ultimate Warrior in that International Instrument Tag Team match with Ahmed Johnson and Shawn Michaels against Vader, Owen Hart, and British Bulldog Viciouis Smith, and then the fans cheered Sid. Sid got a monster push by beating Davey Boy Smith at SummerSlam, and then beating Vader in your house failure live for the WWE Championship, for the number one contendership for the WWE Championship. Vader was supposed to beat Shawn Michaels for the WWE Championship at Survivor Series 1996, but at a house show at MSG 2 months prior, the crowd just popped big time for Sid, and they had to make the change because of that. Somebody said Shawn Michaels did not want to drop the belt to Vader, but it's conflicting reports. Sid beat Shawn Michaels for the WWE Championship at Survivor Series 1996. Even though Sid was the heel, he was cheered big time. And then he had a 2-month reign with the WWE Championship, dropping it back to Shawn Michaels at the Royal Rumble 1997. But a few weeks later, he got it back on a Monday Night Raw against Bret the Hitman Hart, interference from Stone Cold Steve Austin. Then he headlined his second WrestleMania by losing to The Undertaker for the WWE Championship. And after that, Sid disappeared from television once again with a back injury, but it was softball season, and he eventually got released from the WWE after being involved in a car accident in June of 1997. And then for about a year, Sid just made random appearances on independent shows. He resurfaced in ECW. He resurfaced again in ECW in January of 1999. He made a few appearances here and there, but he didn't get paid for his appearances because ECW was having financial troubles. He went back to WCW once again as Sid Vicious, first as a bodyguard for Macho Man Randy Savage, and he became the Millennial Man, having a fictitious undefeated streak like Bill Goldberg did. But he actually won the United States Championship for a time, but he lost it to Bill Goldberg at Halloween Havoc 1999, and then he turned face and feuded with the NWO, won the WCW World Title in 2000, and then he feuded with Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair. Then he bounced around like feuds all the time with WCW for like about a year or so, but at Sin 2001, he was in a fatal 4-way for the WCW World Title, and then he suffered a gruesome leg injury, compound fracture of his ankle. It was so gruesome that WWE does not show on that pay-per-view on Peacock. So it took him several years to get back into shape to wrestle again, and also to play softball. But Sid was basically retired after that. He did not make any more major wrestling appearances for national promotion, making small independent appearances in the 2000s and 2010. He made one final appearance on Raw's War in 2012, facing off against Heath Slater. He actually appeared in a few movies and as himself on a Big Brother episode in 2012. And one of his sons appeared on Big Brother. In the past several years, Sid lived a private life, and I didn't know he was battling cancer until he passed away. And when his son posted as that Sid passed away, and a month prior, there was something a little cryptic about it, like a post he made on his social media that 2025 he would love to be inducted in the WWE Hall of Fame. The clock is ticking. I don't know what he meant about that, but now we know. Just so sad he passed away so young, and if Sid did not get injured or took time off to play softball, I think he eventually could have been an attraction like the Undertaker, coming back for special appearances. But Sid Vicious slash Justice Psycho Sid is probably wrestling one of biggest what ifs. So prayers to Sid and his family right now in this time of need. Thank you for all your support. I'll be back again soon.